literally Cameron checked off all the box. Unconditional love, Lauren's never experienced before, check. Successful, he's a scientist, check. Handsome, I think he was pretty damn good looking, check. Like, okay, let me just try to get myself together a little bit. Hey guys, Sarah here. Welcome back to the Zebra Tribe fam. Welcome back to our channel. It's Friday night and I decided, why not do an extra vlog, because I have to. I can't just not do a recap of the season finale of Love is Blind. Did I tell y'all I was looking forward to the season finale? I was looking forward to it, honey. I was. Let me just say, God was looking out for your girl yesterday, because it ended up being a snow day and my eldest got the day off, and so the other girls got the day off, so I didn't feel any guilt feeling like I need to get with this episode real quick. So I ended up watching the episode early in the morning. I don't know when it came out, if it was in the night before, but I knew it was coming out on the 27th, but I was just itching to watch it, and your girl did. So I'm going to be recapping, just recapping my thoughts on the season finale, all the ups and downs and twists and turns that your girl just didn't even see coming. I'm not gonna lie, a lot of what I saw was basically kind of what I was predicting, but there are still some new things in there that were just like, whoa. So grab your popcorn, grab your tea, because it's gonna be a juicy recap. Before we also get started, don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you're new to my channel. Like this video, guys. Okay, guys. Where the heck do I begin? Might I say it was a juicy show. It kept me wanting more. However, as I watched, like, I could see certain couples just not working out, and the way Netflix left us on that cliffhanger as to which couples were gonna say I do at the finale. What on earth? It was kind of crazy. The 5 couples that were remaining was Mark and Jessica, Amber and Brett, Kenny and Kelly, and Giannina and Damien. Now, my predictions for a lot of them were pretty accurate. If you guys didn't see the finale, here's where the spoiler is going to come in. Kenny and Kelly did not tie the knot. That I could have seen, because the chemistry, even though they seem to have had a lot of chemistry and a lot of like heart for each other in a sense, there's just not a lot of chemistry. I mean, they didn't even do anything. There was not a lot of chemistry that was visibly seen on screen. So, and the cliffhanger that Netflix left us where Kelly was basically saying that she just doesn't think she can go through with it because he is more of like a friend or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was, but all I know is it left me thinking she had friend zoned him and there was just no coming back. So I kind of anticipated those two not making it through. I just don't even see the point of why she strung him on the entire time, and knowing that her mind was practically made up and it was gonna be like, I don't know, there wasn't gonna be anything there. So moving on, honestly, their story was like a bit of a bore. I want to say I wished it could have manifested into something, but I kind of saw that that girl was undecisive. And one of the things that you really just can't keep having is undecisiveness. I get it that there's a lot of decisions to be made. This is a big decision, trying to determine if you want to spend the rest of your life with this individual after having known them for only 6 weeks. So yeah, it's big decisions for sure, but I feel like I'm a good reader of people, and I kind of read her from the get-go, and I kind of said like, oh, here we go, because I could kind of tell where this was gonna go with this girl. So I'm not gonna give this story any more time. Moving on, next couple that didn't tie the knot was Giannina and Damien. Now, this two, I said from the get-go that these two have a very toxic relationship. Giannina is just like a child. There's just a lot of growing up to be had. This poor girl just doesn't have a lot of communication skills. I might say though, in the follow-up videos of her, she seems so much more mature, and so like she's learned so much, maybe watching herself on TV, or I might just say she was putting on a big show for TV. Either way, they didn't make it, and I could see exactly why, because their relationship was very problematic from the start. They were constantly butting heads. Giannina is like, she can't determine what she is. There's no consistency with her. She's either hot or cold, and the poor guy just doesn't know what to follow. He's just kind of lost, and he indicated this to her several times throughout the show, but she just never got the hint. She just couldn't understand, and she still blew up no matter what, which was kind of crazy. It's actually quite hard watching that couple. I felt bad for him quite a bit. The funny thing is though, being that how she was feeling, I just kind of saw her leaving him at the altar. Like, he seemed like he was head over heels kind of for this girl, despite how things looked. He was never portrayed as a very sensible being. Where, even though I'm not saying that he was stupid, he just never portrayed himself as being sensible. And that's the thing about TV. When you're on reality TV shows, go on them at your own risk, because they pick and choose what they put on there, and everything just sounds so robotic. Like, people give each other one word answers, and I'm thinking, this is not real life. If this was real life, there would be like, people would be saying a lot more, and people would be more candid, and their words would be more fluid and not very cryptic. Like, we're really just thinking about what we're saying for television. We don't want to say too much, because then the ratings are going to go down for next week. From that couple's stance, I literally kind of saw the girl saying no and Damien being the one to say yes. But I was shocked. It was the other way around. Damien said no and she said yes. And I knew that she said yes from the end of last week's episode, and so I was kind of shocked from there. And this week, I for some reason thought, oh, okay, he's gonna say yes for sure now. But I was shocked at the fact that he acted sensibly. I was like cheering. I was giving him a round of applause and saying, good for you. Good for you, Damien. You figured it out. Needless to say, the follow-up on this couple, they are together. I wish them all the best. Any of these couples, honestly, especially if they want to follow up with each other, I wish them all the best. But I just, unless these two have matured much, especially that, you know, Giannina, they're going to be on the struggle bus, because marriage is not a joke. Moving on to Mark and Jessica. Mark and Jessica, I just wish Mark could see Jessica for who she really was, because us, the viewers, got to see who Jessica was all the time, and I just wish the poor guy would open up his eyes. And he was just like full force, invested wholeheartedly, head over heels for this girl who was literally a player. She was playing him on the show. She bounced back to him because things did not work out with someone else. I wasn't surprised by her character based on how she performed while they were just dating in the pods before they got engaged, but I just didn't see the outcome. But I don't know, throughout the whole show, I just wanted Mark to see her for who she really was, and he still couldn't. And unfortunately, it's him whose heart got broken at the altar. I just don't understand why he was so head over heels with this girl about, because she showed him her true colors many a times. He just didn't see all of it, and it's like, why do you need to see it all to make a decision? So needless to say, she left him at the altar. She said no. She said she couldn't do it. She felt like she just didn't want it. It's just a gamble she wasn't willing to take, and I can respect her for that for a number of reasons. I mean, if the age thing really plays that much of a factor for her, she shouldn't do it. But at the same token, why, I guess once they're already committed on the show, they kind of have to follow through and make a storyline, create a storyline. So I felt really bad for him. His heart was broken, and I'm just happy he had his mama's shoulder to lean on, because that poor girl literally just walked away. I feel like that girl's going to be so unhappy for a long time to come, because it just seems like she pays more attention to money and exterior things than she really wants to get, I don't know, really wants to settle down. I think it's, you know, she's one of those women that are very driven and focused, and I understand the concept of working hard for what you have, that you just don't want to throw it away. But at the same token, like, there's so much more to life too, and that's where you she has to learn to give a little too in order to get a little. And being that she's the age that she is and she wants to have kids, she wants to have that sooner than later, before she hits 40. And now her chunk of time is really condensed, and it's like pressure's on for her dreams to come true. So yeah, that was really hard. Really sad to watch. I shed some tears. I'm not gonna lie, watching this finale, I shed tears. I was laughing, I was smiling, I was clapping. Oh my goodness, it was such a finale. I felt so invested, like I knew these people. Moving on to Amber and Barnett. This was a couple that I wasn't really sure about. They were head over heels, you could tell. They had a strong connection from the get-go. They did, but I felt like the connection was even more amplified because their attractiveness towards each other was like that. Like they were very attractive. Now my concern was just hoping that they weren't just riding on the connection and hoping that they weighed everything, because I knew that Barnett's concerns about Amber was just debt that she brought to the table, her bit of like wild cardish side and from the past, as you know, just that kind of stuff. But they did balance each other out. She understood him. They connected really well. But I have to say, one thing I do know too is that everyone gives their best up front. And the reality is sometimes we think we have it all figured out. It's like a woman saying, it's okay, you can go off. I remember with like Diamond and oh, I can't remember the other guy that was on the original episode, when she was telling him that it's okay, like you can go out and you can do this, like we are here to live and experience life and do this, and I'm not here to hold you back, I trust you. It's one thing to say that to get the guy, but it's another thing when you are starting to live with the person. Things are easier said than done, and it's not until when you're going through it yourself that you can kind of realize, oh well, that's when the complaints will start to come out. That's when you start to butt heads. But with Amber and Barnett, like I just wasn't sure if he thought about all this extra stuff. She seems like a sweet girl, and she just came from a place where she said she just didn't have stability and a lot of all that stuff. But now hopefully she gets it, because her and Barnett did tie the knot. I took so long to say that. I know they did tie the knot. It could have gone either way, and I wouldn't have been surprised either way, but I was pleasantly surprised that they both said yes. It was pretty intense. Okay, so I feel like I saved the best for last, because Lauren and Cameron is what they seem to have been the whole star of the show. I wasn't sure how it would go because of what I saw, that they portrayed, I guess, Lauren as just being super apprehensive of Cameron being white. That was all it was about. It's like the big thing. That was the big thing the entire time, because literally Cameron checked off all the boxes. Unconditional love, Lauren's never experienced before, check. Successful, he's a scientist, check. Handsome, I think he was pretty damn good looking, check. Like, you know, he was like a full package, and to think it was just like, I don't know, every 5 seconds. But some of you guys said you guys read further into Twitter and all this other stuff, and you learned the details that it wasn't necessarily Lauren portraying those things, even though I mean, the word still came out of her mouth, but it was more of the filming or the production crew and the show basically using the whole interracial thing to gain views. I mean, I don't know which way to take it. Either way, stuff kept coming out of Lauren's mouth, and either way, then they kept replaying it. So it's a little bit of both, I think. At the end of the day, they both said yes, and I was cheering for joy, because after some of the twists and turns that already happened, like Damian saying no to Giannina and Brett and Amber actually saying yes to each other, I was just like, oh my gosh, this show is going all over the place. It literally could go in either direction, so I just didn't even know what to expect. But they both said I do, and I was so thrilled for them. It was really nice to see another side to Lauren's dad. This is like the side that they never showed. They just showed him like as like this tough, interrogating dad, which I understood to a certain degree. But it was so nice. Like, he loves his daughter so much, and it was nice seeing that other side of him when he stated that he was the one giving away Lauren to Cameron, as well as just the one that was like, he was crying and just telling her how much he loves her. Like, you just got to see a softer, gentler side to him, and then you can kind of understand where he was coming from and realize that it's not necessarily all ill, and this guy does have a heart. So he loves his daughter so much that his heart is going to be happy for her regardless of who she finds love with, and that was nice to see. From Cameron's point, I didn't see, I mean, aside from him hugging his mom, I don't know if they're not really camera people, but there wasn't much of her like talking or expressing how they felt about Lauren. And even at the after party, after they already said I do at their reception, the mom, I don't know, they kept showing, I kept seeing glimpses of the mom, and her face just never appeared happy. So I'm just curious, like, obviously Cameron's dated interracially before. So his parents must be fine with it. And I think if they weren't, they wouldn't show up for the wedding and they wouldn't be like in support of him marrying another black woman. But his mom just seemed to have a stern look on her face. Maybe it's just the process, because I'm sure that process, this process of finding love, as Cameron would say, this or unorthodox way of finding love is just, I don't know, it has a way of making people feel weirded out because it's so unnatural. Getting engaged to someone after 3 days of only meeting and then jumping the gun and getting married at 6 weeks, that's pretty crazy. So I really, really hope that these couples that all said yes, it's literally Amber and Barnett and Cameron and Lauren and Cameron. I just pray that just, you know, I hope that the love that they really have is a love that will last and that will transpire into something beautiful, you know, in the future. Not just something short-lived, not just something for television, and not just like a flame that's gonna burn out shortly after the show is wrapped up. I just pray that the outcome is successful for them all. I'm gonna say that was like one of the best finales of a show that I've ever watched, and it was so good that I just had to come on here and say something to you guys. And if you haven't seen it, it's worth watching. Even though I probably spoiled a ton for you, I think you will still enjoy it nonetheless. Like, leave your comments all down below. Let me know what your thoughts are, your thoughts was on the show in general, and definitely on the finale, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed my little recap. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Much love. Bye, y'all.